Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. It's Friday, y'all. It is Friday. We made it. Thank you, Lord. I don't know about y'all, but I am really happy that it's Friday. I want to use these next couple of days, this weekend. I'm opening up this live on Facebook, y'all. Y'all know how I got to do. But I really want to use these next couple of days to, well, one, I got to work. I got some work to do. But I also want to use it to reflect on some things in my life, y'all. Oh, I don't know what it is. Oh, I want to use it to reflect on some things in my life, y'all. So I am going to open up this live. I'm on a different phone doing this. So come on in, come on in. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Chemistry. Hey, best friend. Happy birthday to my goddaughter, Charlie. Big shout out to her. I just got to open this up on my live. But as you guys are coming in, I want you guys to tell me where you are with your mental health from 1 to 10. Today I'm at like a 9.5. Like I said, I'm reflecting on some things, nothing bad. Just asking myself, okay, what do you want this to look like? A friend of mine's told me, hey, bestie, a friend of mine's told me, one of my girlfriends said, you need to write it out, what it is that you want. And I kind of have wrote some things out, but I guess right now I'm in the place of putting the pieces together, if that makes sense to anybody. So to those entrepreneurs out there, let me open this up. I want to talk to the entrepreneurs out there. If you are an entrepreneur, even if you are a part-time entrepreneur, what did that look like for you prior to becoming an entrepreneur? Hey, Chief Apostle. Hey, Mama Sunfire. I like that. Sunfire. I like that name. Thank you so much for the follow, Chief Apostle. I appreciate that. Hey, Mr. 160. Yaya, Lizzie, Bobby, Devon, Norma, Hiley, Nancy. Thank you, everybody. Chemistry. I like how you spell that, chemistry. I like how you spell that. But as you guys are coming in, if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are someone who's been working in the entrepreneur space for a while, but you still have like a 9 to 5, I want to know what you did to overcome that fear of saying, you know what, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to start working for myself. I put that on my Snapchat, and I'm going to be posting it onto my Instagram and TikTok page as well. But how did you feel? Hey, Diva Ends, I like that. Hey, JB, good morning to you, love. That was a beautiful picture that you put up too on your TikTok. How did you feel? What fear did you face as you were becoming an entrepreneur? Hey, Diva Ends. I love that. Diva Ends. I love some of these names that be coming up on TikTok, y'all. Like, people are just so creative with their names. Are there any entrepreneurs out there? Or somebody that you know? Because I want to know, what fears did you face and how did you overcome them? Hey, Ollie, yeah, grandest of risings to you this morning. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Grandest of risings to everybody that's on Facebook, YouTube, watching us. Even if you are watching the replay, I want you all to let me know where you are from 1 to 10. Thank you so much, Diva Ends. Thank you so much, Diva Ends. I really want you guys to let me know where you are coming in with your mental health. Like I said, I'm at a 9.5. It's not bad at all. I'm really just trying to figure out what it is that I'm doing here. Grandest of risings to my beautiful baby there. Grandest of risings, Diva. She says she's coming in at a 7.5. So we go pull that up. We go definitely pick that up. Ali Yaya says she's coming in at a 7. Thank you so much, Diva Ends, for the follow. I really appreciate that. Ali Yaya and Devajna, we are going to pull that up today. Devajna said not bad at all. Not bad as well. But we want to pull that up. So if you are in the chat, say good morning to everybody. And if there's anybody that's like a 7 and under, even a 7.5, just give them a little bit of extra love, because, sometimes we just need a little bit of extra love, a little bit of encouragement, a bit of encouragement saying, you know what, hon, right now it may not be perfect, but it's going to be all right. Devashna says she's a little bit under the weather. You know, you like to get me sick. No, every time she gets sick, I get sick. Oh, JD, I'm sending you some love. JD said she's feeling a 5, a blah. You know, I don't know, y'all. This morning is definitely one of those mornings, right? This morning I woke up, and I'm not gonna lie, JD, Ali, Yaya, Devashna, anybody else out there that's kind of feeling blah. This morning I woke up and I had a little bit more of a fight. I'm not going to lie. I did. I had a little bit more of a fight this morning with myself. You know, I had this feeling, this overwhelming feeling, that comes over me. You know, one of the things is my mom. You know, I'm talking more to her, and I got up this morning and I listened to Tasha Cobb's For Your Glory, because I feel that song deeply. There's a few songs of Tasha Cobb's that I really feel deeply is just like the story of my life. But I started listening to that, and I'm talking to God, and I'm like talking to my mom as well. You know, I want her to be so proud of me, but at the same time, I'm missing her physical being here. So that kind of made me feel blah. On top of that, what it is that I am working on to create. You know, a lot of times, hey, Tate Bands, thank you so much for joining this morning. Hey, Heather, come on in the room. Everybody, tell everybody hi as you are coming in the room. Sometimes it's scary to change, right? Being the same person that you've always been, you're very familiar with that person. But what happens when you're becoming something that you don't even know what that looks like yet? Thank you so much. Devashna says, sending you so many great vibes, JD. They're sending you great vibes, JD. We're sending you a lot of love. You know, and JD, you may be facing something. You know, you just was faced with the hurricane last weekend, and there's probably some other things going on. There's always other things going on in our lives, right? And at the same time, some of us are trying to change our lives. Some of us want to elevate and, you know, be able to take care of our families a little bit easier. Some of us want to get that job that we've been working to, or some of us want to just change careers or change period, you know, just change period. But it's scary, isn't it? Hey, Jake, thank you so much for joining. It's very, very scary when you are becoming something that you have never been before. Hey, JR, thank you so much for joining. Hey, Freddie, thank you so much for joining. It's very scary when you are becoming something that you've never been before. It's like, I don't even know what this person looks like. What does this person look like? So what we are doing is we are truly creating that person. JD said, thank you, everybody. She really appreciates it. Yeah, make sure y'all put some love. Send the love out to people, because we really need it right now. What does that look like for some of you? Those of you who are in the midst of changing, whatever it is that you want to change about your life, what does that look like for you? You know, do you know what he or she looks like? Nova said, I'll pay your bills. Where are you at? Nova, please don't get on here with the mess. Oh, God. Nova, tell me, since you can pay people bills, are you an entrepreneur? And if you are, Nova, how did you overcome the fear that you had and becoming an entrepreneur? Thank you. I am my own story. Thank you so much. Good morning to you as well. How did you overcome any fear, Nova? If you are an entrepreneur. This, you know what? I was having a conversation recently. And one of the things that stood out in this conversation was social media. We were talking about social media and how sometimes people will just say the craziest things on social media. And one of the reasons why a lot of people just come on here and just say the craziest thing is anonymity. Like, you really don't know who that person is behind that, what they put on the screen. A lot of times you have trolls or people just saying mean things just because they're not feeling well. So they want to push that onto you. They want to push that negativity onto you. Right? Right. Diva N said that's for sure. But isn't it the anonymity? And I may be saying that word that, like, you're anonymous. You're anonymous on here, honestly. So you can put through that negativity. You can go and put that that 8 with the H on it, rhetoric out there, and make people feel horrible. And then you walk away and it's like, oh, I've done my job for the day. I made that person feel horrible. Now you feel like I feel. Do you all, hey, Miss Scott, thank you so much for joining this morning. Hey, Big Mike, thank you, honey. Do you all feel that it is the fact that people are really anonymous on here? Diva N said they would never say the things they say in person. Yeah, and that is the trouble. That's the problem right there. Like, why would you get on social media and push something that if you were in that person's face, you would not say, or in anybody's face, you wouldn't say? So why would you do that? Do all of you on here believe in karma? Hey, Ricky, come on in. Hey, Stylish, come on in. This is the Vet Green Show. And one of the questions, hey, baby, one of the questions that I'm asking is, do you believe that it is the anonymous factor that makes people just say the craziest things on social media? Like, let's take Cardi B, for instance, right? This mom, this wife, this young lady, she's out there truly life. And unfortunately, it is playing out in real time on social media. It's playing out in real time. Ali Yaya said they're trying to seek validation and attention. Ms. Johnson said that part. Some people are really trolling her about her situation. Now, granted, this, as they call group chat, is crazy. Like, we wouldn't even know what's going on in their family unless they put it out there. But me being this big old age of 48 that I am, I remember what it looked like to be in my 20s, and you can just pop off. You know, heck, I was in my 30s popping off, if I'm being in a little bit of my 40s, but that's my business and I grew from it. So anywho, back to Cardi B. JD said, I believe in karma. I get on here and spread love, but I will check a troll real quick. Okay. Real quick. But going back to this Cardi B situation, y'all. So you know what's going on right now. Offset was in her house, apparently in the studio, doing whatever it is that he was doing. And people are saying, you know, that they think that it's a publicity stunt for them and that they really haven't broken up. Well, like she said, they do have 3 kids together. They have 3. Hey, Bro Mike, grand rising to you. Thank you so much for joining this morning. Bro Mike said grand rising, peace to everybody. He's probably out there in Brooklyn working this morning. So sending you safe travels if you are working today, and lots of love. Ali Yaya said Cardi B is a realist outside of the celebrity lifestyle. I agree, Ali Yaya. I feel like that she puts the stuff out there that she's really going through. Like, I'm just going to say this. I feel as though she had outgrown Offset. Her career, sometimes when you are in a relationship with someone and you are doing something above and beyond them, everybody can't deal with that. Some people can't deal with the fame that or attention that other people are getting and they aren't getting it. That's why it's really, 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 really important that you know who you are surrounding yourself with, who you are loving on. Bro Mike said he's working nights now. Okay, well, I'm glad that you got to see the show live. Bro Mike, appreciate you. Bro Mike is one of the people that actually catapulted me into this podcasting. He's the one that opened the door for me into having a producer. So definitely love that you are catching a live this morning. But going back, Big Mike said in Queens, salute to Bro Mike. He said, good morning to you, Bro Mike. Diva N said, I don't believe Cardi B and Offset are breaking up. So Diva N said that they don't believe Cardi B and Offset are really breaking up. JD said, and Cardi seems to be a good mom. She probably doesn't want her kids to be treated that way. See, that's what I believe too, right? Because listen, can we be honest here? Can we be honest? If you all have been following me, Vet Green, you know my story. I chose to deal with my ex-husband for 7 long years after we broke up. And that's one of the reasons why right there, JD. Because I didn't want my kids treated a certain kind of way. And I did not want like this onslaught of men coming in and out like, no, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. No, they have a father. Thank you very much. We're not doing that. So I chose not to do that. And I feel that that's probably what's going on with Cardi B. Like at the end of the day, y'all, Bro Mike said, Grand Rising to you, Big Mike, as well. At the end of the day, she's still a mom. She still has these 3 kids and a newborn. I can't even imagine how she is feeling because postpartum is real. Okay. I can't even imagine how she's feeling right now. And all of this is allegedly going on in her life. I look at that one picture that they posted where she's laying in the bed and Offset. One of the pictures shows Offset holding a new baby. And then another picture shows Culture holding a new baby. And I'm like, I can just imagine the numerous thoughts that were going on in her mind at that time. One, if they are, as the allegations are saying, not together, that's kind of a heartbreaking experience. Like, man, I just had this new baby and me and their dad not together. So he's going to be in and out of their life. Thank you so much for the gifts, love. So he's going to be in and out of their life. Even though he's there, it's a big difference to be present and present. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that co-parenting is possible, but you have to keep your personal issues out of that co-parenting and not think about how you're feeling. Is really about the kids. See, that's one of the things that me and my ex ran into in the beginning. It was like, I feel like this, but I never ever thank you, mommy, for teaching me this. Like, I never got my kids involved in what I was feeling, or I never tried to put them against their dad or keep them away from their dad. I never did that, because it's like, however he is, the kids are going to see eventually. You know what I mean? Like, kids grow up and they have a mind of their own and they're able to see things eventually. You don't have to feed kids any negativity about their parent. And I say moms and dads because I know single moms and I know single dads. You don't have to feed that kid any negativity. That kid is going to eventually pick up on what that parent is not or doing. That's just what's going to happen. They're going to pick up on it. You don't have to feed them that. So Diva N said it's admirable. I would agree. I think it's admirable if they truly are co-parents. And now, Cardi, I'm just going to say this. When you are in a vulnerable state, it is very, very easy to go back to that situation, because that's where you know, that's what you know. That's what feels comfortable to you. It's like, oh, I know what he makes, how he makes me feel, how he makes my body feel. You know, it's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into that. Just be careful, Cardi. Be careful. If you truly, truly, truly are done with the situation, because this man, the allegations are just ridiculous, but they're also young. Like, they're my kids' age. Like, literally, they're my kids' age. Is Offset even 30 yet? Is either of them either 30 yet? You know how many mistakes we made in our 20s and early 30s and, like I said, 40s too? The human brain does not even fully develop until you're like over 25. That's why you are so reactionary. That's why our teenage kids, our little kids are so reactionary, because the human brain, those sparks, they don't even begin to develop until like you're 25. And it's even, I think, listen, for men, I think it's like 30. Y'all tell me if y'all agree. Because doesn't it seem like, well, it is known that women develop quicker than men, but they're still held at these standards. There's a lot we can talk about with this. There's a lot we can talk about with this, y'all. Hey, Maria, thank you so much for joining. I just wish Cardi B, all the love, and like, queen, just know your worth. Because when you don't have that level of self-worth, or when you have someone come into your life, because some people come into our lives for a reason, they're meant to help us elevate into a certain level, but they're not meant to stay there forever. I've been following Cardi B and Offset for a while, and one of the things that she said about him is that she did not feel that she was Cardi B. We talked about that earlier this week, that imposter syndrome, and I think it was JD who asked what that imposter syndrome is. It's like, y'all, like, they are really. I gotta get something. And there's nothing in here. I don't get it. It's really that imposter syndrome. And what Offset did for her was he like spoke life into her and told her that she can be this Cardi B that she is now. So now that she's this person that she's become, I'm sure she's wrestling with, man, like, the person that was hyping me up is no longer there. The person that was telling me that I can can no longer be a part of my life or a part of this growth that's happening in my life. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, Terry, thank you so much for joining this morning. You feel what I'm saying? So there's probably a lot going on with that, everybody. Just I say that to say, give her a little bit of grace. Just remember that we were all young. Some of you that's listening right now may still be young or still be in that situation where you are learning to love yourself. Hey, Jean-Pierre, thank you so much for joining this morning, where you are working on loving yourself. It truly, truly begins within. When you can tell yourself and look yourself in the mirror and say, I love me, and choose you first, that's when things begin to change. That's when things begin to change for me. Not to say that I have not made mistakes, still making mistakes, but the type of mistakes I make, I think of me as well. Before, I didn't think of me. Before, I always thought, how can I make that person happy? How can I do that? Hey, Yaya Boo, thank you so much for joining this morning. It was always that person or that thing first. Now it's like, okay, what about me too? How am I going to feel in this situation? I think the long term, how am I going to feel in a situation? Big Mike said he probably never believed in her from the gate. Possibly. Or it could be also that her rise to stardom has kind of overshadowed his. He was a part of the group, is still part of the group Migos, rest in peace to it was Takeoff, right, y'all? Please forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm not good with names, horrible with names, but I heard somebody say the commentary that Offset was not really even talked about before Cardi B. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, because she has to become who she is, right? She's still becoming. Look, she was just in Paris. She was just in Paris, looking fantabulous at that. JD said when they break up, she gets pregnant. Is he trying to stay relevant? I think he is on her curtail, though. I think he is trying to stay relevant. Now, he dropped an album. I believe it was within the last couple of years, and it was a pretty good album. I remember we talked about it on the Morning Show podcast with my bro Franklin. But what after that? Like, what is he doing? Some people don't feel comfortable being not in the limelight if the person that they love or the person that they're with is not in the limelight. Some people don't feel comfortable that way. And they need to feel validated. So they start cheating, and And I do not want to say anybody is beneath anybody, but they start cheating with people who are more on the level where they can actually manipulate. And they can, hey, Blaisdell 716, thank you so much. Blaisdell said, rise with righteousness, peace, and love. I receive that. Big Mike said, regardless of what, you're still a father and a husband. You're still relevant. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Regardless of what, you're still a father and a husband. You are still relevant. Listen, Courtney B. Vance is still relevant. He ain't got no problem with Angela Bassett, because he's doing his own thing. He's relevant in his space. She's relevant in her space. But some people don't feel like that. Some people feel the need to be the person, the star, the person that everybody's seeking out. Some people feel more comfortable in the background. I don't know, you all. Oh, moving on. The dock workers strike. Lord. It ended with a tentative deal. Everybody, they're saying that the workers are due to return back. Hey, Lola B, thank you so much for joining. Hey, Princess J. So they are supposed to return back to work today. Thank you, God, because listen, they were smart. Tell me they were not smart. They know the Christmas season, the holiday season, even October, the season has started. What do my bro call this? Silver dollar season. It has started. They were smart to go on strike when they did. So let's see what CNN is reporting, everybody. Oh, I got to sign in and all of this other stuff. Now, see, this is why you're supposed to have stuff open early. They want to try and sell me a Range Rover. I'll be telling my nephew and I said, you know what? The Most High knows what it is that I have going on in this world, because some of these do y'all get ads sometimes? And you be like, yes, I'm manifesting that. I'm going to manifest that. So the port workers are due to return to work today. Today. Thank God. After negotiators reached an agreement on wages. This is being reported by CNN, everybody. So CNN is saying, and you can go on CNN.com, striking members of the International Longshoremen's Association will be back to work today, the union announced yesterday, as it reached a tentative deal with the management group representing shipping lines, terminal operators, and port authorities. Do y'all think the White House put some pressure on it? Do y'all think the White House may have put some pressure on it? Because, I mean, the election is right around the corner. That's right. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free. Thank you so much, Blaisdell 716. I appreciate that. Yes, please hit the like button and share this. Even if you are watching a replay, hit the like button. That way you don't have to go searching. When you hit the like button, it tells the algorithm, it tells whatever platform you're on that, oh, I like what Vet Green has to say, and I want to see more of that. So let me hit this like, love button, share, subscribe. I want to see more of that because that's really what it's doing. And just like Blaisdell 716 said, it is free. Thank you for the gifts, best friend. I appreciate you so much. The goal is 20 today, it looks like. So if I can get those 20 dolphins in 3 hours and 33 minutes, so that means I think I need to go live back on TikTok today. I'm learning this TikTok thing, y'all, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Blaze said they can throw rocks and hide their hand. That is true too. When people, we going back to what we were saying about trolls on here. Going back to that. So what do you all think about these port workers returning? They return. The agreement amounts to a $4 per hour raise for each year in the 6-year contract. Oh, that is not bad. So the agreement amounts to a $4 per hour raise for each year of the 6-year contract. So they're slated to get, within the next 6 years, $24, an extra $24 in their paycheck. I think that's superb. I wonder what they get, because I heard these longshoremen get a pretty good penny. I heard that they get a pretty good penny, y'all. So I wonder what they were making prior to. And I also wonder if they're going to retro this. I think they should. Heck to the yeah, retro it. Like, take it back to the beginning of the year. Make me feel as if you know that I'm valuable. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for the gift, Yaya Boo. Make me feel that you know that I'm valuable. Make me feel that you know that I am part of the plan that's helping this plant run. You know what I mean? That amounts to a first-year raise of just over 10% of the current contract's top pay of $39 an hour. That is about, y'all, $39 an hour. That's close to, let me see. That's definitely over 65,000. Okay. That's definitely over 65. If somebody know what $39 an hour is, let me know in the chat. 39 times 40, that is $1,560. Yes, Lord. That is over $1,500 a week. Who can live nicely over $1,500 a week? Now, if you multiply that by 52, like I said, they're making a little over $80,000 a year. That's at the top pay. On top of that, they're going to get an additional $4 per hour. So they're going to be making at least $43 an hour, which, listen, like I said, I think minimum wage should be $20. Minimally, you should be making $20 an hour. I mean, that's my thoughts on it. So the union agreed to extend the contract it had with the United States Maritime Alliance with the management group known as USMX. That deal, which expired at the end of Monday, will now be extended until January 15 and have the union members back on the job while the final details are worked out in full agreement that they will need to be ratified by the rank and file, everybody. So big shout out to them for standing up to what they believed in, standing up for themselves. Do y'all in your current jobs, if those of you are out there working 9 to 5, have you ever been a part of a strike? I remember when Mercy Hospital here in our city of Buffalo, their workers went on strike. I had a family member that was a part of that strike. And I was like, you know what, you got to do what you got to do. And they did have some provisions, like they went on strike, and I think some of their pay was changed, but they still, the union still took care of them. Whether it was gift cards for food, the union still took care of them. Like they missed out on that regular pay, but they weren't without a paycheck. So as they were striking, the union took care of them. Thank you, Yaya Boo, for sharing that live. They took care of them. Do y'all believe that we need to have more unions? You know, unions, that used to be a big thing, like in the 50s and the 60s. They really took care of things within the industries that they were working in. But now it's few and far between. I know that certain Amazon factories have been fighting to get a union. Now, there was one where a young man was able to get a union in that Amazon plant. But what about the other ones? There's a few that are popping up here. There's a new one that's due to open up, I believe, in Niagara Falls. Hey, fella, good morning to you. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. There's a new one that is due to open up in Niagara Falls. But listen, y'all, you know, one of the reasons why the dock workers were fighting, right, is because of automation. So guess what Amazon is planning to do with this factory in Niagara Falls? But they are saying that they are pledging to at least have at least 1,000 workers in that Niagara Falls, but the plant is going to be mostly automated. Amazon is opening up a plant here in this area, in the Western New York area, and it's supposed to be mostly automated. What do you guys think about that? Because we're going to hear more and more of this happening, everybody. We're going to hear more and more of this happening. More and more jobs are going to be outsourced to private companies. I've seen hospitals do this. Some hospitals, they used to have their own laundry. Some of that was outsourced. Think about these mom and pop shops that are disappearing, only for a chain restaurant to come and take its place. There's a Taco Bell that's being built not too far from where I live right now. That's a chain restaurant. But what about that mom and pop shop that's down the street from Taco Bell? I can't remember the name of it. It's out here on South Park or Abbott. It's on Abbott Road, I believe. What about that mom and pop shop? Hey, Maurice, thank you so much for joining this morning. Thank you for getting up with me. Maurice said, that's why I have been teaching the young fellas here to learn how to fix the tech so you'll be employed. Yes, that part. Yaya Boo said, do you remember, I think in the late 80s, they found that container full of babies? No. Oh, speaking of a story. Oh my goodness. A story, I have to pull it up. But I'm gonna put a pin in that one, Yaya Boo, because there's another story that I saw where a U-Haul truck with kids. But Maurice, going back to what you were saying, let me just write that down so I can remember. U-Haul kids. Exactly. I was in Buff State yesterday, and I'm thinking about all these kids walking around me, right? And I'm like, man, you know, they have these dreams and aspirations that I'm going to go to college. I'm going to do my 2, 4, 6, 8 years, and I'm going to be able to get out and make a living. And some people have a dollar amount in their head that they feel as though they're going to make. But with the rise of automation, how true is that going to be? So I feel like Maurice said that learn AI, learn how to fix this technology, because they're still going to need people. I've seen a decrease in IT jobs, y'all. I've seen entire corporations wipe out their IT department and send it overseas because it's cheaper. So as you all are going throughout your day, and some of you that are on this live right now may be thinking about, changing careers, or like I was saying earlier today, becoming an entrepreneur. Just remember that we really are going up against technology right now. So some of the skills that we need to be technology based. You need to at least know how to turn on a computer. You need to know how to send emails. You need to know how to use these devices, these phones, to upload things, because that's the way of the world. That's where the world is going right now. How many people actually are faxing items, and the faxes are going to people's personal computers or their phones and stuff. That's the way that the world is going. So I just want to tell everybody that, at least know a little bit about technology. Blaisdell said, coding and programming is the new thing. Yeah. I hate that I did not learn that. I was so into it when I was in school. I didn't even know that that was a job. I hate that I did not know that that was a job, that I can actually code and program and do all of that, because I fully enjoyed that C, semicolon, backspace. So I'm going, I want to go into what Yaya Boo had said about these container full of kids, and going into a story that I saw posted on the Queen Karima's page yesterday, about these people that, let me go to the story. I'm on her page. Yep, here it is. These gentlemen. So Karima Morris, if you guys know, I follow her. She's Bury the Violence Buffalo. Very great organization. She follows missing and exploited teens and people, ex-trafficking, all of that. So she said, guess what, parents? When you kick your child out, they become vulnerable and inaccessible to the element. I'll share my screen so you guys can see what it is that I'm saying. And then go into this story, because this goes into, yes, yeah, boo. It was 2 guys and 2 women. I didn't know about that until I was looking at her page. So let me just share her screen and share this story. She said, according to court documents, Bristow told the trooper that he and Omar were on their way back to Buffalo, New York, after picking up a girl who was being kicked out by her mom in Glendale, Arizona. Yaya Boo was saying they weren't abducted. I was kind of feeling that too, the women, but what was in the trailer was concerning to me. So the trooper said Bristow's breathing was short and rapid as he was answering. He told the trooper Omar rented the U-Haul and they had left New York on September 24th to drive to Arizona. The trooper noticed the 2 women in the passenger seat, who Bristow said were his sister and fiance. The women told the trooper that they went to Arizona to visit family and pick up some stuff. The trooper also noticed that the one young woman, her breathing was kind of rapid as well. According to court documents, the trooper noticed conflicting stories about the trip. 2 men were arrested and charged after 7 children were found in the back of the U-Haul truck on I-44 in Missouri. Now, I don't know what was going on. This happened Sunday around 4:30 p.m. Troopers found 7 children in the cargo of the U-Haul. Their ages range from 2 to 13. According to the court documents, 31-year-old Shaquem Bristow and 22-year-old Musa Omar are charged with 7 counts of first-degree endangering the welfare of a child. Now, my first thoughts is, okay, funds probably weren't all that great, and they needed to move here into the Buffalo area. That was the plan. They were trying to move into the Buffalo area. Now, Ali Yaya said he keeps those kids all the time. He should not have took them with him. Oh, okay. So as I'm reading this story, I'm wondering, is it a case where this mom didn't have the ability to bring, or the moms didn't have the ability to bring the kids as well as whatever belongings they had into the Buffalo area? So their thought was, okay, we'll just put them in the back of this U-Haul truck. I mean, I can see that happening, especially if your funds are low and you are just trying to get from A to B, or A to Z in this case, because of Arizona, that's pretty far. What are y'all thoughts? So Yaya Boo said he keeps those kids all the time. He should not have took them with him, and that they were not abducted. So is it a case, an alleged case of he had these kids, went to do this favor for this young woman, didn't have a vehicle to put them in, so they were in the U-Haul? I can see that happening. Is it right? I don't know. The court of public opinion may not say it is right, because a lot can happen. There's no seatbelts in the back of these U-Haul trucks. There's nothing like that in the back of these U-Haul trucks. So I don't know. Yeah. I would say that You know, is endangering the welfare of a child a little extreme? It depends on where you're sitting. Big Mike said he could have flown the kids for free. Possibly. Possibly. It really depends on where you are sitting, what view you're sitting from. So I want to talk about Dame Dash and this reasonable doubt. Everybody, do y'all know the story of what's going on? So Dame Dash right now, I believe he may be in bankruptcy court. And part of that is his percent in reasonable doubt. So there's a few articles about this. I'm going to go into the one that TMZ has written, because apparently Jay-Z, and I would too, like that, this is my body of work. I'm going to make sure that it's not, just taken advantage of. Heck yeah, I'm going to try and stop the sale of it. Any shares, I'm going to try and buy those shares back. It just makes sense. So this is what's being reported by Jay-Z. Yeah, Lord. This is being reported by TMZ. So Jay-Z is saying that reasonable doubt will be all mines. So Jay-Z is staking a legal claim to the master recordings of the album Reasonable Doubt. It's actually his first Main Street album. And it's a buyer beware. And Damon Dash and his people are saying, because he's trying to stake a legal claim to this and say that the rights will expire and he's supposed to get everything in 2031, because after like 35 years, people are supposed to get their masters back, depending on the contract, I believe. You get your masters back. And what Jay-Z is saying is that, heck, you can't sell it because in the next 5 years, I'm going to have all legal rights to it anyways. And Dame Dash people are saying, well, by him saying that, it's driving down the claims, because who's going to want to buy something that's not going to even be theirs in the next 5 years? Hey, Tanya, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Big Mike is saying, going to that story that we were talking about a little while ago, he should have sent them to their mothers. Those were not his kids. Yeah, there's a lot in that story. There's a lot to that story, and hopefully we'll see more information about it. But this Jay-Z situation, y'all. First, let me ask y'all, what are your thoughts on Dame Dash and his rise? Oh, thank you so much for the Dolphins, everybody, and his rise to fame, and then the splitting between him and Jay-Z. My thoughts, Dame Dash was popping off. And in some of these rooms, and when you're in the conference room with some of these people, you really do have to be a certain kind of way. Now, I understand everybody wants to be themselves, and you can be yourself, but there's a professionalism that has to be present when you are meeting with some of these people. You can't be in these conference rooms talking all crazy or left, and these people are trying to do business with you. They aren't going to take you seriously. And that seems to be one of the issues that he had. Now, granted, some of you may be a big Dame Dash fan. I am all for what he says with, we need to build ourselves up. But some of the stuff that he says is just a little bit too much for me. So him and Jay-Z ended up, cutting ties. They cut ties, which was Rockefeller Records. He had claims in a lot of that. So they're saying buyer beware to anyone getting ready to drop more than $1 million to buy Damon Dash share of Rockefeller Records. Now, Rockefeller Records, thank you so much, baby. Rockefeller Records for those Dolphins. I'm getting to I think I reached my goal. Yes. Now, Rockefeller Records, they're saying really just consists of this one album, which is Reasonable Doubt. That's what's on the roster. There's nothing else. So TMZ Hip Hop has learned Jay's attorneys made a legal filing that might normally fly under the radar, but it's really relevant. That's what they're reporting. Dame's third, so he owns 1/3 of Rockefeller's, is going up for auction because he has millions of dollars. Look, I'll be thinking the taxes that some of us owe. He owes millions of dollars in taxes. On top of that, a couple of $100,000 in child support. So they're saying that the label's only real asset is Jay-Z's 1996 album, Reasonable Doubt. They go on to say, while Rockefeller currently holds the copyright on the record and all its tracks, Jay's attorneys have now filed a notice about those rights will revert. And this is what I was saying, will revert back to Jay-Z in 2031. So some of you may not know that, certain contracts, I believe it's 30 or 35 years. If anybody's on and know the number, let me know. These masters revert back to the original owner. Now, Yaya Boo said not to backtrack, but those parents got to fight for their kids. They're in the system now. Oh, man. That's going to be a fight. That's definitely going to be a fight, especially if it was something, just to put a pin on Jay-Z, especially if it was something where they couldn't afford to leave the kids or didn't have anybody to watch the kids. Like, I just know so many scenarios and know what people just thinking. I have my hat on where, I'm this single mom, don't have a lot of money. I just can't even imagine what that really was and why those kids, like 7 of them, were in the back of the U-Haul truck. So going back to this situation with Jay and Dame, they're saying that the rights would have gone back to Jay 35 years after. Can you believe it's been 35 years? Yaya Boo said, Jay-Z, who did that to Nelly's son? Let's start there. Oh. Okay, got to look that up. What is that about, Yaya Boo? Put it in the chat. So he's saying that he can't sell and that the rights would have gone back to him anyways. So the lawyers filed paperwork to make it official. But what's going on is that the judges are saying, no, Dame Dash has every right to sell his part of Reasonable Doubt. Every right. So what does that mean for the auction? Whoever ends up winning Dame shares, the minimum bid is $1.2 million, will enjoy 1/3 of all Reasonable Doubt revenues for only about the next 6 years. That's if what Jay-Z wants to happen happens. But these judges are saying no. He has every right. But Jay-Z and his team allegedly are saying, and this is driving the price down, that okay, he can sell it, but it's going to be mine in 6 years. So go on and put your money in there if you want to, but it's going to be mine in 6 years. Oh, you too. Thank you so much for joining this morning, Maurice. You have a great show this evening as well. It is wonderful. I'm so glad that you were able to join this morning. I'm about to fall out this chair. Yaya Boo said allegedly he dating Blue Ivy. No, it ain't true. It ain't true, y'all. Allegedly, no, Yaya Boo, I ain't going to believe it. That baby ain't nothing but about 12 years old. It ain't true. Lord. I have noticed, though, that Miss Tina Knowles has been pushing out a lot of rhetoric about her daughter. Now I'm putting my mom hat on. Okay. If one of my children is in a situation, I'm going to do what I got to do. Okay. If one of my children is in a situation, I'm going to do what I got to do. She said, allegedly, he went missing. Ooh, when I get off of here, I am going into that story. I'm going to be looking it up. But like I was saying, y'all, I have noticed Miss Tina has been pushing a lot of the rhetoric, about who Beyonce is, because as everybody knows, her name has come up quite a few times. We've talked about it in these Diddy allegations, her and Jay-Z and who they really are. I feel that not to let either one of them off the hook, but sometimes we get involved with people that may be involved in things that we are not necessarily involved in, but because we love that person so much and we want to make them happy, we get involved in certain things. And some of you out there may know what I'm talking about, or may have had an experience like that if you had not been with that person, you probably wouldn't have been doing that thing or got involved in that thing, Hey, Butter Lamb. Ooh, she said he has since been found and beaten bad. Butter Lamb said, happy Friday, everybody. She said, I just heard about it in the blogs. Ooh, child. You know, it's a lot that be going on in the YouTube. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot that be going on. Oh, it's Nelly's son. Lord. So there is some rhetoric out there. Lord. I'm not gonna believe. Lord. I'm not gonna believe this baby is pregnant. I'm not gonna believe it. I'm just gonna say that people didn't put that out there. I'm just gonna say that people put it out there. You know, and if she was, I feel that her parents hopefully was able to you know, get her some counseling and stuff. But yeah, there is definitely some rhetoric. See, this is the other ugly side of being in the industry. This is the other ugly side, that your family gets involved. This is why y'all see I don't really talk too much about my kids. Like, I'll talk about them, but I'm not, like, unless they pop up on here, I'm really not bringing them up, because I know the road that I am walking down. And I would never want my kids to have to face any backlash just because of what I chose to do. You know what I mean? I just don't feel like that's fair. Now these kids, like look at Diddy's kids. What do you think is looking like for these kids right now? Going to school and all of this stuff going on in the news about their father. Their mom is gone. They really don't have anybody to turn to. I saw this one photo or this one video of his Diddy's son, the one that looks just like him. Is it just? No, it's not Justin. What is his name? They call him King Combs. And he just looks so disheveled and so just stressed out. But he's out there, I'm sure, trying to make his own money. Out there promoting these coat lines, which look fabulous, if I might say. They're called Soul. Have y'all seen those jersey coats? They're called Soul. They have it like in the block letters, the S, the O, the U, the L. I want one myself. They really look nice. And they're trying to push him, and they have certain celebrities pushing him, and he was one of them. But he just looked so disheveled. He looked like he literally jumped out the cab and threw the coat on and did the video and probably jumped right back in the cab. Y'all can look it up. Big Mike said, always the black family. Yaya Boo said, money, they spending crazy. Yeah, but right now, that money really, I'm sure, yeah. Because court costs are, listen, he's in jail. I'm sure the money, whoever was getting monthly benefits, that is probably cut off. Did y'all hear that he sold one of the houses? Yaya Boo said the one son spent $81,000 in the club one night. Ooh. I'm sure that was probably a publicity stunt to make it seem like they are still on top. Anybody with any sense would halt that spending. Halt it. Now, I don't know what he was doing before. I know he had came out with an album or something before. Maybe he was just doing celebrity pop-ups. I don't know. But I just know that he was out there promoting these jersey jackets. They do look nice. I'm not even gonna lie. Those Soul jersey jackets took for a bag. And there has to be a reason why he's out there going to get his own bag. Now, Quincy, I believe, may have some money because Quincy's been acting for a while. And Justin, his mama, you don't really hear too much about him. You know, his mama, Misa, she really was like, not my child, okay? Not mine. That's right before stuff started blowing up. So I don't know, y'all. Did y'all see Jaguar Wright and Vlad on Piers Morgan? I had to stop and watch that. I couldn't believe it. Does anybody know who Piers Morgan is? Jaguar, he had Jaguar and Vlad on there. Okay, and Jaguar out there just talking. Hey, sis, I see you jumping in this morning. Hey, Denise. Jaguar just the talking, and ooh, child. And then the lawyer comes on afterwards and gave her some, like, listen, Jaguar, I know you saying all of this stuff, but you need to have some security behind what you're saying, because you can be in court, especially if some of these allegations that she's putting out there are not true. Everybody keeps saying, she hasn't been sued. She hasn't been sued. Well, one of the reasons why they're saying she hasn't been sued is because she's living from hotel to hotel. She doesn't have an address. But a lot of the stuff that she's been saying it's been popping up, y'all. I heard that Aliyah, apparently now there's a bounty out for her. They said it's like $500,000, and she put that out, didn't she? Now, if you've been following Jaguar like I have, I gets into the smut, as my grandmother used to say. That's probably why I love this type of stuff. Remember those albums? What was it? The Inquirer and stuff that used to come out. My grandmother used to get all of that. Yes, Elsie Green. She used to get all of that, and I loved to read as a child, so I used to read about all of that stuff. That's probably why I'm so into it now. So allegedly, and I'm going to pull that up as we are winding down, everybody, and as you guys are about to leave out with me, and we can go over a little while. It's Friday. We can keep on talking. Let me know what y'all got going on this weekend. Are y'all in the house? Y'all in the house, or y'all outside? There's some stuff going on this weekend, but some people may feel like, I just want to get in my bathtub tonight, with some Epsom salt and just have movie night. So I'm going to pull this up. Yes, so it is Jaguar that is claiming she has a $500,000 bounty on her head. So let me share this. If you guys are watching on Green Links Media, which I hope you are, Aliyah said in the house and also work. That's me. That's right. Okay. Miss Johnson said, after this birthday party, I got to go out and have a drink. Oh, I know that's right. Where are you going out to have a drink at, bestie? So let me share my screen, everybody. And let's look at, let me make sure I'm sharing the right one. Yeah. Well, all righty. The Real Mike Media. So Jaguar claims that there is a $500,000 bounty on her head and says someone has been following her. I feel like it's probably true. Now, I don't know about the bounty, but I do feel because of these allegations, I mean, she's putting some people out there, y'all. She's blowing it up. She is putting some names out there. Now, some of them I agree. I do not feel as if Diddy is the biggest fish. I just do not feel that he's the biggest fish. I really feel as if he has been groomed to become this person. Like you have to be. I had to drag it on. Sorry, I have to do this once the hour goes up and make sure that, this thing, it got to match perfectly over here. All right. I don't feel he's the biggest fish. I've been saying that since all of this stuff came out back in October. I don't feel exactly Yaya Boo. Get Clive, okay? 94 or not. What has he been doing all these years? All these years, y'all. And then he has been open about his own, preferences. We'll say that. And if these allegations are true about Diddy and his preferences, it makes a sense, doesn't it? They got Bill in there. She said, okay. They got Bill in there. McMahon is about to be next. The one from WWE. There's another one. That I wrote down. Oh my God, what is his name? With allegations about him that just came out. I saw that. Oh my goodness. Who is the other person? The other well-known person, y'all, that it just came out that he even has some allegations against him. I mean, this whole thing is just blowing up. Yaya Boo said Clive can be Bill's cellmate, okay? But is he going to go down? And the person, who did they say, Lucian is above Clive? There's a hierarchy here. And you know that they're saying that Diddy is going to get on there and testify, as he should. Especially if you didn't do all of this on your own. He's going to testify, his lawyer is saying. JD said they make Diddy feel like the biggest fish so he can take down the fall, so he can take the fall. I feel that, JD. I really do. And I think that the feds are pressuring him. But then you also have, like I always say, don't think that some of these people working in some of these jobs are all together legit. Don't think that some people that's working these jobs, I don't care what job it is all the way legit. It's not. They aren't. So some people may say, you know what? You pad my pocket and I'll make it go away. You do this for me and I'll make it go away. It happens all the time. It happens all the time, y'all. I don't know. I want to give you guys an update as we are going to leave out about Hurricane Helene. Like this thing in Asheville, North Carolina. Aliyaya said Diddy probably didn't abide by one of their rules and now he has to take the downfall. Yeah, I think from what I've been reading and what I've been researching, it seems like his ego really got the best of him. This thing probably would not have even blown up had he paid Cassie what she asked for. It was his ego. He was so used to being untouchable. Hey, good morning, best friend. I see you out there, Tamara. He was so used to being untouchable. Yeah, Ali Yaya is agreeing and said, yes, that's the ego. Yaya Boo said fame got him out of control. Exactly. I think the same thing, that it was the fame that got to his head. He was so used to having things his way. They have videos that resurface everywhere talking about, I get what I want. That this morning I was listening to Make It Make Sense, and he was talking about Corinne Steffens. I think her name is Elizabeth Olsen or something like that on the social media platforms I follow her. I told y'all I went and repurchased the book Video Vixen and read it again in a day because it really is that good. And it talks about her. But one of the things she talks about and she's open and honest about is that she did these things willingly. And she has a story in there about Jay-Z. So go ahead and read it. And she also has a story about Diddy and how Diddy told her, I want you. And she was gifted to him by, I believe, Irv Gotti. Hey, STTT, thank you so much. Good morning to you. So, I mean, we have, you know, there's going to be different scenarios. Are all the people who are making these allegations going to be credible? Absolutely not. The one lawyer, Tony, that we were talking about, who has the 120 cases, he said he had over 3,000 calls. They had over 3,000 contacts. And out of that 3,000, they were able to substantiate over 100 of them. So some of those people, some of those women and men probably are going to be out there for a money grab. Absolutely. Oh, he made me feel away, knowing good and well, like, you know, Corinne said, Elizabeth Olsen, that she knew what she was doing. She knew what she wanted. And, you know, it was like a power trip for her as well. A lot of people really are groupies. Some people just want to be involved in whatever is going on with that person's life to make them feel valid, you know? Unfortunately, it's true. So we're going to see more of this play out, y'all, in the news. I believe they're supposed to start going to court, but do y'all think that he's going to eventually get a bail? You know, the judge has been changed. He does not have that same judge that he had. The judge has been changed now. JD said, sadly, Diddy will be replaced with the next puppet so they can continue, what they always do. Butterlamb said, exactly. Ali Yaya said, true. There's always going to be a Clive, a Diddy, a Bill. There's always going to be somebody like that. Always. I say choose the light. I also have been thinking about some of these artists who did not get the recognition that I felt like they should have gotten. Like I always, like Jennifer Hudson. I think Jennifer Hudson she can sing, y'all. She can sing. Now, it may be that she was more R&B, but I always felt like she should have gotten more recognition than she got. They say that some of these people didn't get that recognition because they didn't want to get on the director's couch or bend over backwards, literally. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I know that Wendy Williams lost her job and had to go to, she was on the radio station in New York and had to go to Pennsylvania for 5 years because of the allegation she had put out about Diddy. And here we are, fast forward, 15, 20 years later, and all of this stuff is in the news. I don't know, y'all. But I'm going to wind this down and say thank you to everybody for joining me today. Yeah, look at her now. Wendy is one of my sheroes, y'all. I know some of the things that she used to say. I used to be like, now, Wendy, you could have softened that up a little bit. I think a lot of that was coming from the hurt she experienced in the industry that made her be like that. But can't nobody take away what she did for us, for the culture. Okay. A lot of us out here right now are trying to become, or evolve into something that she was. We looked at her for guidance. She said, I said it the other week, they had no choice but to silence her. I feel that too. Yeah, boo. I wonder with what's going on with her, it was something, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's something. It is definitely something. They have all these conspiracy theories and all of that going on. But like I always say, there's some truth to a lot of what we hear. It came from somewhere. Now, it may not be 100% true, but there's a little bit of truth in everything that we hear. It's our responsibility to try and decipher it. And as we are deciphering what we are absorbing, make sure you understand, overstand, and understand what view and why you are taking on that view. Yaya Boo said, I think Mike said, give her platform back with Jaguar Wright as a co-host. He did say that yesterday. Could you imagine? Woo, yeah. Could you imagine Jaguar and Wendy on a what? That will be the most watched show ever. Could you imagine the comeback Wendy could make if her and Jaguar got on stage together, even for a one podcast? Man, to God be the glory. That's all I'm going to say. Because Wendy going to let it be known. And she ain't going to be scared. She is not going to be scared. I think that would be awesome. I praise for Wendy because I want her back in her space. When you deal with substance abuse issues and mental health issues, and now they're saying it's some dementia, it's scary to think that you can be so young and your life can be changed around so quickly like that by an illness. It's very, very scary. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for all that you have done for me today. Y'all have definitely filled me up. I hope as you are leaving out that you are better than you were when you came in. JD, Ali, Yaya, Devajna, I am sending prayers to y'all and let y'all know that this too shall pass, that God got it in his hands, and whatever it is that you are dealing with today, whatever that feels like today, it's going to pass. Don't stay stuck in it. Just know that sometimes we have to be put a little pressure on us. Sometimes we have to have a little bit of pressure put on us in order for us to get up and do what we have to do. Pressure makes diamonds. So for those of you who are out there feeling that pressure of life today, just know that you are probably a diamond and you need to start shining, honey. Okay. And once you start shining, you'll start feeling some of that pressure released off of you. Self-talk. I love y'all. You make sure you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful. And thank you so much for the follow. Wonderful on weekend. I may be back later on today on TikTok. If I am, I'll let y'all know. I got to do some work today. So have a wonderful day on purpose, y'all, because you know what I always say? You can. God said you can. God said you can, because if he didn't, you wouldn't be watching me right now. Love y'all.